Hi everyone, my name is Tavish Alam from the CRM Trainer and welcome to the quick Zoho CRM user training course. I have a full course to enroll onto if you want more. The link to that is in the description. But this is the quick best practice run through the Zoho CRM system. I'll be showing you the CRM with the new layout in this video. The full training course, which is over 6 hours long, uses the old layout. However, the difference between the new and old layouts is superficial. You can use either. The contents of the course isn't affected by the layout change. The new layout is a little bit more tidy, looks a bit more blocky, and has a bit of a Salesforce feel to it. Let's get into the CRM. This is a quick course, so let's not waste time. So log into the CRM system. If you don't have a Zoho account, make one. The trial is free. They don't ask for a credit card. So you may as well go for the enterprise version whilst you're in your trial. So when you get into your CRM system, you'll be presented with the homepage. You can customize this homepage with all sorts of little widgets, graphs, lists, and other things. You can change which homepage you want to use from this top menu here. These widgets are from list views, reports, and dashboards. Let's talk about navigating around your system. The menu options show the modules your admin user has allowed you to see. If you're lucky, or you are the admin, you will see all of them. Click into each of them to get to the list views of each of the modules. A list view is a filterable view of your data. This is a list view. You can create more here. So if I selected all UK leads, it will give me that as a smaller list, 44, as opposed to 101 in the total list. So you can filter on your data. There are two other ways of looking at your data, and that's to use this Kanban view and the canvas view. Play with those if you want to. It's generally not best practice to use them in most users' systems, but there are circumstances where they are useful. You can create a record by clicking on this plus button or importing a bunch of the data using this button here. If this scares you, read my article on how to import data correctly into Zoho CRM. It's on my website and I'll give you a link in the description too. When you click on a square here, or more than one record or either one record, you will get this option turned up at the top of the screen. You can run a macro. Don't do that, it's not best practice. Send an email, create tasks, update records, do all sorts of stuff. One thing that will confuse users, I'll use the contact module to explain, is the blue links. I'm on a contact, but if I clicked on a record here, but I used another module's column, this is the account column, which is actually a different module here, then this will take me to the CRM Trainer account, not the person, not me, for example. So if I wanted to actually go to the contact record, click the name, not the account. It will throw you. I've been caught out with it a few times before. Let's go back to my leads. On the left hand side, sometimes it might be hiding, but on the left hand side you've got a few sneaky filters. This isn't the same as those list views up here. You can filter the fields or the data here inside a list view, which is quite fancy. So you can always find the records you're after. Let's go have a look at what Zoho have put up here. The first button Zoho have put up is the search button. This is the single most important button in your CRM system. It allows you to search your entire CRM system for any word or number. So be careful when you search, because it also does partial searches, so make sure you search for the most unique part of whatever you're looking for, like surnames. The next button we'll ignore, as it's a referral link button. Next to it is the notifications and sales signals. This gives you information such as emails opened by other people, so you don't have to use read receipts. And the notification bit, which is the feeds bit, shows if other people edited a record you were the owner of. Next to this is a button you should really be scared of. You know, garlic and wooden stakes kind of thing. Okay, maybe it's not that bad, but you definitely don't really want to be using this button to create your records. This is because it breaks process. What processes, you may ask? Don't worry, I'll get there. Next is a calendar button. This is Zoho's calendar that is built up from Zoho's tasks and events. If you've got emails synced up with the CRM system, the next button here allows you to access them. The span and screwdriver is the settings, which has loads of things to tinker and change your CRM with. This is in the admin guide, so we won't go through that in this user video training guide. Next to that is your account details, and where you can change your subscription, go in here to change your password and some other security things. It also gives you the help options, so you can talk to Zoho via live chat if you're on the paid version. Talking about chat, down here on the left hand side is a tool that acts like WhatsApp for your CRM system. You can chat to people and users and video and voice call them if you wanted to. If you want to access this but you are away from your CRM system, then get the Zoho Click app. It's pronounced C-L-I-Q, Click, on your mobile device. On here on the right hand side, there's some extra stuff. The first one is your Zoho Sales IQ integration. It will show you who's on your website so you can stalk them. It's the Zoho stalking feature. Only joking. It allows you to chat with people on your website, see what pages they're on. Next is a button for lazy and or efficient people. It allows you to ask your CRM system to do things, a bit like Google Assistant or Siri, but only does CRM jobs. Next here is Game Scope. If you're particularly competitive about winning deals, generating leads and stuff like that, you'll love it. It allows you to see where you and your team are on a leaderboard with scores and trophies. If you don't like that sort of thing, that's probably because you're always losing. Next to that is the notes. It allows you to capture generic notes on screen. I'm going to skip this next icon because it's a little depressing. The activity reminder here tells you when you have events, tasks and calls scheduled that are coming up. The last button on the right shows you the last 20 records you visited. It's very useful if you want to keep your sanity if you have a lot of records in your CRM. Let's talk about the leads. Let's go into a lead, for example, and explain what's going on. A lead is an unqualified opportunity. It contains three parts: a person, their organization, if you're working B2B, and what it is they want from you. When you qualify a lead, you are essentially converting it into a contact, account and deal. I'll show you that later. The idea of a lead is that you need to qualify them. The leads module is therefore like a big funnel of new opportunities. You can create a lead from scratch by clicking here and filling this in. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick one and edit it, the top right. Make sure you have some contact information. Otherwise it's a pretty useless lead. If you want to create a new lead from scratch, then there are a few rules as to when you should and shouldn't. I explain that in a lot more detail in the full course. But for now, let's have a look at this. There are different fields in your system. Some that contain text data, some that are pick lists, others that are checkboxes, date fields, numbers, and many more different kinds of fields. Your admin may have created a whole bunch. So fill in what you need to. Anywhere that you see a red line, that's a mandatory field. If you want to integrate your CRM with your emails, make sure you've got the customer email in here or in the secondary email section. So their emails that you send to them via Outlook or Office 365 or Gmail, whatever it is you're using, shows up in your CRM system as well. So fill in the details. You'll notice here we've got 5 top fields. Now they're specific fields in here that's more valuable. On the right hand side, you'll notice this best time to contact. Best time to call and best time to email. This is not a real record, so it's not actually going to show anything. If you want to see it in action, check out the full user training course where I go through this in much more detail. But it essentially allows you to build up a picture of when that lead or contact's most likely to be opening emails or answering phone calls. Talking about emails, press the Send Mail button at the top of the screen to send them an email. Choose a template using this button at the top of the screen, so you don't have to keep writing repetitive emails from scratch all the time. On the left hand side are related records, such as where other modules link to this one. The notes is for recording extra information that you don't want to hold in a specific field. The attachments section allows you to add additional files to this record. Ignore the product link. In fact, you should remove it for best practice. To progress a lead, you should be creating and recording information against the activities and progressing the lead status through these stages. You can make your own lead statuses, so don't just use the ones that they give you. The activities comes in 3 types. A task is an internal to-do for yourself or another user. An event is an external activity, such as meetings. And a call, well, that's a telephone call. Make sure you record the activities you have with this lead. The notes, attachments and activities are all standard in a lot of the modules in the CRM system. So make sure you record your activity in the most relevant place. And do not create a record using this top plus button here. That's bad, don't do it. Let's assume you've progressed this lead and qualified it, i.e., you think they may seriously be buying from you. You want to convert it. Press this convert button at the top right of the screen to convert it. This gives you this conversion page. If a contact or account already exists, it will give you the chance to use the existing record instead. If it doesn't, then it will ask you to create an account or contact. This next bit is super important. Make sure you click Create a Deal. Otherwise, you're adding a breakpoint in your CRM sales process, and some of the features, reports and data will not really work or will go missing if you don't do this step. Give your deal a name, pick a stage. Usually the first one is the default. Add an amount if you know it, and put a closing date in. If a specific marketing activity generated this deal, record it here. The contact role is to do with the decision-making role that this contact, Mr. Nash Ferguson, has in this deal. In most cases, you can leave it if you're not solution selling. Hit convert when you're done. It gives you some motivation. Thank you very much, Zoho CRM. I have an account, which is the organization. I have the contact, which is the person inside that organization. And I also have the deal, which is what they're interested in. Let's talk about the deals. The first thing you'll notice is this bar across the top. It's changed in the new layout. It used to be some dots. You'll also notice that it gives you some information about the sales cycle in this sales summary box. The top 5 fields that you're interested in are in this box here, and the best time to contact the contact is here as well. The main contact, i.e. Nash Ferguson. The idea of a deal is that it contains the sales information together. You'll notice the timeline at the top of the record shows you what's happening. So if I click something, it shows a change, which is very useful. That timeline is also on a lot of other modules, so look out for it. So if the customer wanted a quote, I would click here on the left to generate it. So let's talk about the quotes. The account, contact and deal fields should already be filled in if you did this bit right. Give your quote a name in the subject and then pick the appropriate quote stage field. I'll go into a lot of the detail about these stages fields in the full training course. A lot of these fields should automatically be filled in, but give it a valid 2. If they have a purchase reference number, you can stick it there. Usually they'll give you that afterwards. The address might be filled in if you have the right addresses in that contact record. And then we add the products and we build this quote. So press add line item here and start typing the name of the product in this box that pops up. I'm going to put 2 in the quantity, and there you go. You can always add more products, or if your product isn't in here and you start making it, you can always create a new product by pressing here. Change the price. You can change the quantity. You can adjust the discount. Apply taxes to this on the line item. You can also add a product description as well. You could do that at the line item, but if you had another product in here, so let's just put in something very quickly, then you can either make the changes per line item, or you could make the discount and taxes for the whole thing. Once you've built this quote, press save. Takes you back to the deal. Let's click back into this quotation to get back in there. And let's send this quote to the customer. Try to do this from the CRM because you can then track whether the recipient opened it or not. If you have your system correctly set up by your admin, you don't need to change the deal status. So if I went and had a look at the deal, for example, you can see it's moved from needs analysis all the way to proposal price quote. I didn't do that manually. The system's done it because it's been set up properly. If you want more information on that kind of thing, let me know and I can go through that in more detail with you. Let's go back to my quote. Let's send this to Nash Ferguson. So press the triple dots, press send mail. It will only let you do this if you actually have an email address against Nash Ferguson. Pick your template. There might be more than one. This isn't the best template. but we'll pick it anyway. You can see on the right hand side whether you got the right one anyway. Change the file name if you want, then hit next. It's added that PDF down here as an email attachment. Now you want to cover email. Pick from here, quote covering email. There you go. I've not written this from scratch so that we can always use this. And you can also pick the best time to send this quote. Now, because it's not a real person, it's not actually got any real data behind it, and therefore it doesn't have the best time to contact. But if it was a real person, it would do. Edit the contents. These are all mail merge tags. We go into a lot more detail about mail merge documents in the full training course. But once you're ready, hit send. Once you've sent it, it turns up on the left hand side. I didn't send it because it's not a real person and it's not going to go anywhere. Once you've done that and the customer accepts this quote, you can turn this quote into an order. In the full course, I'll explain what to do if you need to requote. Most people get that process wrong. So once they have accepted the quote, press this green quote button and press sales order. What is a sales order? Well, it's essentially a contract of sale. It's also an instruction to your operations team to then deliver the order to the customer. If your CRM is set up properly, then that deal should be marked as closed won. Let's go have a look at it. And there you go. It's marked as closed won. Fantastic. I didn't change the stages. The system did it for me because this system's been set up properly. If you do not take payment up front, you may want to then create an invoice from this sales order and send it to your customer. You do the same thing that you saw from the quote and the sales order. You convert this sales order into an invoice. Now this sales order has got the products, it's got various other bits and pieces. You can add some notes, instructions, documentation, do whatever you like with it. You go into edit and be able to change the products in the edit screen. I'm going to convert it to an invoice, so let's talk about invoices now. Now I've got an invoice, you should always try and send this out from the CRM system from the send mail button in the triple dots. Here. Exactly the same process you've seen for the quote. So you've seen the transaction processes in the CRM. You can also place orders on suppliers using the purchase order feature in the CRM system too. At this point, you might also have a few custom modules in your CRM system. So you may want to go through the custom processes your admins have set up. Okay, so we've got this invoice here. Assume we fired it to the customer and they've paid you. Now let's talk about reports. If you followed the process of entering data in the CRM system, then the standard reports should work. There are over 75 pre-built reports in the system, so use them. If you want to make your own custom reports, you can. Create a new report using this green create button. Pick the modules you want to use. I'm just going to pick leads. Choose the type of report you want. Summary is the most flexible. Press continue. Choose the columns you want to see. Then choose the groupings. Otherwise, you won't be able to make any graphs. Add some columns to total. It's a leads module, so there's not really much to do with that. Add some filters. I will add a filter there. I go into a lot more detail in the full course about filtering. Hit continue. Pick a folder so you don't lose it, because there's lots of reports. Give it a name, then hit save, and there's my report. Edit the report if you need to. Just be aware that the most amount of rows in this report is 2000. So if you don't filter enough, then you may not see all your data if there are more than 2000 records returned back. Here, there are only 100 records. So that's great. And here's my nice report. So let's build a chart that we can push over to a dashboard. So let's make it. Press create chart. Pick a chart type. I'm going to go vertical. Country, yep, record count, that will do. And there you go, that's a chart. That's where all my leads are coming from. Or rather, all my fake leads. They're not real. So now I've got my chart. I don't want to have it hidden away here. Let's push it to a dashboard. Add to dashboard. Pick one. Let's push it to my example one. Lead example report. And there you go. So if I go to my dashboard, which happens to be called analytics, I'll see it here. There it is. And this is great because my dashboards can have lots of different types of widgets. You can add components there. If you want to know how this works and what all the components do, then you'll want to watch my full user training course. But let's push this onto my home page. Click on the triple dots, add to home, and then on my home page, at the bottom somewhere, I've got the data. I could even click into that and it will take me into the data and give me the filtered view. Now the data on your home page and your dashboards, it's all live data, so you don't have to go anywhere to get that data insight into your business. So that's the quick guide. I've gone through this very quickly as it's aimed as a refresher and a quick user training guide. If you want to know more about any of the topics, I have a full user training course available which goes into a lot of detail. The link to that course is in the description. You've noticed that I haven't talked about settings and the admin topics such as blueprints, workflows, templates. This is because I have a separate admin course coming which will go through that in detail. Hopefully you found that quick training guide useful. For more free videos, subscribe to my YouTube channel and check out my blog for articles as well as full training courses as well. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments or send me a message on my website.